Okay, so we've got our records separated nice and scannable for various relations. So let's go ahead and put this down where it belongs. So I'm going to do that. And when I do that, I noticed that this jumped over. So that tells me that there's probably a space somewhere in here that I missed. So I put my cursor in right there. Great. I'm going to hit return. And oh no, look what happened. This will kill you. It's like this invisible character that gets bumped up there. So how to fix this, right? When you see something like this, obviously don't just leave it. Go ahead and triple click on your line, and that will reveal to you that something in there is not right. You got that plus. So I'm going to hit Option, and there it is. I got that down. So let's do that. I'm going to close this down. I'm going to bring it down to the margin here. To me, that's a little close on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and actually move that up. I'd probably make this margin a lot thing. I just had it set to 1.5 picas in the beginning, but I think that's a more appropriate amount of air, and we'll see how that works as we do this. So let's turn our attention to the headline. And so the headline we know needs to do, so let's look at how it's supposed to look, right? We have it kind of like this, right? And maybe I'll even clean it up from this layout and try to find some areas of coincidence. So let's look at what my settings are I want it to have, which are in the sheet behind me here. So it's going to be Minion Pro, semi-bold, 36 points, small caps, some tracking, because if, the caps, black box, white text, vertically centered. Okay, so let's figure that out. So first I know I'm going to need to make this a little bigger. I'm going to do the first thing, which is to make the container black. So right, I got my color palette out, and I went ahead and made that black, put on the T, and go ahead and click that white. The other thing I could have done was when I had the T, if it looked like this, just drug this down there. So now I have white text on a black background. I need to set the height to, let's see, I'm going to go to the T tool, change it, it's Minion Pro. I'm going to make it semi-bold. Semi-bold, there it is in that list. Going to make it small caps, which is right here below all caps. I'm going to make it, what did I say, 36 points, I think. And then I'm going to make this even a little bigger here. So what do we need to do? We need to set some space. So I'm going to go to coincidence right there. So I have this for the gutter as a coincidence, even though nothing technically goes to that. It just makes me feel better for the underlying thing to have that there. And so now we need to work with the text box to give it that spacing that we want. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, actually, before I do that, let's notice that we have that plus symbol because we changed it up here. So I'm going to hold down Option and do that, and it went away. And so why did that go away? That's a good question, because actually, right, I didn't want to hit the Option key. I wanted to go to redefine style. See, messed up. So let's bring up the text frame option, which is object text frame options, or Command B on your keyboard. And let's play with this inset spacing, right? So, well, actually, before we do inset spacing, let's try to vertically center it. So I'm going to go to Align Center. And notice when it's centered, because of the small caps, it actually doesn't look centered visually to me. I think we actually need to bump it up a little. And so to do that, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to unclick this thing right here, and I'm going to push it up from the bottom. And to me, I think those 4 points make it look more visually centered, right? Centering it here mathematically centers it, but because most of this is these capitals, it's not by eye centered. So I did that. Now I need that left spacing too, right? I wanted it to go there. Now what I could have done is actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop it. I'm going to say okay for that, and go back to my type tool. One thing I forgot to do was add some what's the word I'm looking for? Tracking, right? I'm going to add 50 of tracking. Is that what I said in here? Seems like a lot. Oh well, I'll just keep it 50 at tracking. And I'm actually going to turn this into right aligned. And then I'll go back into my text frame, and now I'll use the right to kind of get it somewhere I like it. So what I'm going to do is, looking at for any kind of coincidence, I'm going to, where's the right thing here? I kind of want So I'm going to actually, I see I don't like the space this is creating right here. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this go back. Could I make that R? I was kind of wanted this R to line up to this. At the same time have enough things. So I'm going to try this and just see what it looks like, right? I'll hit the W key. I do not like the amount of space there. That's not enough air. So I'm going to bring that back in. So I'm just live showing you the kind of things a designer does. And I'll just go ahead and just randomly do it more. Maybe I'll make it, give it 1 pica of space, check it out how it looks. Yeah, I guess I'm fine with that. You know, maybe a touch more space. Maybe if I had actually brought this to there to align to that and then played with getting this R to right here. So let me do that, right? I'm going to bring that R all the way to that Hawks. So that's a little far. So actually you wouldn't align this, you'd align the stronger line of the R to that H strong line. Whoops, that was me messing up. I want to touch this. There we go. Something like that. Maybe, you know what? I think I kind of am okay with that. I don't know if I love this being there. I might actually pull that off of that instead of that coincidence. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's too close. Maybe this was a little higher. There. I feel that's pretty good there. So what I'm doing is I'm just thinking about coincidences and how things come together. That's really all I'm doing right there. And that's the thing you start to obsess over as a designer.